and welcome to the Owl Pod, the official podcast of Temple Athletics. I'm your host, Kevin Copp. A reminder that David and Amelia are now on Tuesdays. We have 2 episodes of the Owl Pod for you each week, right here in the same feed. If you're subscribed, you don't need to do anything. You can get us on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts. You can listen to the Owl Pod now twice a week. David and Amelia will be recapping the week in Temple Athletics and talking with one of their fellow student athletes as a guest each week. I will continue to talk with Temple coaches, alumni, fans, anyone in and around the Temple universe. And today we have a very special guest, my good friend, head golf coach here at Temple, Brian Quinn. Coach Quinn, or BQ as he's known, was a 4-year letter winner for the Owls from 1987 to 1990, a professional golfer for 16 years, and is now in his 17th season as the head coach here at Temple. Here is Brian Quinn after this word from our sponsors.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
You grew up in the area, right? Now,
I actually grew up in just outside of Boston.
Okay. So at what point in the, you play in every sport as a kid, I assume just like kids do, at what point in your life do you pick up a golf club for the first time?
Well, to be funny, I'm one of 7 kids. I played all sports growing up and in high school. And, basketball was my true love. Obviously, you see me here at the games, and no one loves Temple basketball more than me. But to be honest, like when I was about 16, I had played golf my whole life growing up. But when I was about 16, I ended up like winning this one pretty big tournament. And really, honestly, before that, didn't really do anything. And but that tournament got me a lot of notoriety in Massachusetts, and then obviously helped me go to college and play golf, and obviously here at Temple, which kind of was a last-second decision. I was actually going to either go to I was down to University of Maryland, Northwestern, or and looking at North Carolina, but really was probably going to go to University of Maryland. And then my coach, John McDonald, called me right beforehand, and I met with him and my brother Kevin, who is a great player here at Temple. He played here, and Coach gave me a great offer, and I was like, that's awesome. And I've been at Temple and been in love with Temple ever since.
So to back up, one of 7, where are you in the pecking order?
I'm the middle.
Okay, so directly three above, 3 below.
Exactly.
Which has got its advantages and disadvantages, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I mowed a lot of grass. Let's put it like that. I always tell my kids that I coach here at Temple, I had the greatest upbringing ever. We didn't always have everything you could want or need or anything, but we had each other, and we had great parents, and it's been I've been very blessed.
Well, golf is one of those pursuits. There's a lot to it. First of all, it just takes a lot of time. You don't just get to go out and, this is my wife's chief complaint about my lifestyle. It takes 4 hours. It takes what it takes.
Exactly.
So, when you are in a house like that, where you're one of 7 kids, and, I'm sure it's chaos at times, for your parents to kind of manage the household. How are you fitting in just the time, let alone it takes money, it takes, driving to the course, and, just how did you manage, were you able to kind of pursue it in the serious way? You're not a country club kid.
We were not.
How did you kind of make that work?
Yeah, well, our parents did. They made it work, and we caddied. I shined shoes. I was a waiter. All those different things. My whole upbringing, and all of us were. And we played at Green Hill Muni. It was $2.75, and you could play as much golf as you wanted. My mom would pack us a big lunch after we were done caddying, drop us off and then pick us up at dark, usually 30 or 40 minutes past when she's supposed to. But Bart Blatstein, who is a big Temple supporter and a wonderful man, he gave me the greatest line I've ever heard. He said, people can take anything from you, but they can't take memories. And, so that upbringing for us, we hit balls like in our backyard, built, all the new wave stuff they have now. We did it. We hitting into blankets and all different things like that. So it was a great upbringing, super competitive. My brother Fran played a long time on the PGA Tour and on the Champions Tour. My brother Kevin was a great player. Obviously, I played, and me and my brother Fran both played professionally for a long time. So that part was really good, and it taught us how to compete at a young age.
Well, and as you said, so you win this tournament at 16, amateur tournament, and you get some heat, and now were you already thinking, hey, this is maybe, because you're seeing it from your older siblings, this is a path in college, like you knew that this is a possibility if I am taking this seriously and I have some success, like this is a chance to get school paid for, that was all kind of in your calculus?
It was. And obviously, once again, being one of 7, that was a tremendous lift for my parents. And Coach McDonald took incredible care of me and my brother. I always say he's one of the 3 most important people growing up in my life. My dad, my uncle, and Coach. And he gave me an opportunity and really helped. He wasn't like a golf swing guy or anything, but he always did the best for us. We always played the best tournaments. We had the best clothes. We had the best shoes, the best balls, everything. He did everything so first class for us all the time, and it made you want to compete for him. And he's the reason why I'm coaching today. Yeah,
well, you can hear it in your voice. You still have that affection and that admiration. It's so clear. So tell me about, you're deciding where to go, and obviously you said Temple was kind of a late decision because of, that offer that comes in. But, when you're looking at UNC, and I've played that golf course there, that's a beautiful they've got, I'm sure it's changed a little bit, but beautiful on-campus course facility, chance to play in the South, which has its advantages. We're going to come back to that. So it doesn't feel like, or it doesn't seem like, from the way you're describing it, you felt that coming here to Temple and playing, even though it's in the Northeast and it's got the challenges that are associated with playing golf in the Northeast, that you lacked for anything coming here as a student athlete.
No, and quite honestly, coming from Boston to Philly was like
this is the tropics.
It was unbelievable. But once again, my coach did a tremendous job in the wintertime for us. He basically built us an indoor driving range at Impact, which was a nonprofit he ran, and we were able to go there, which wasn't far from campus, and hit balls. He built a bunker, putting green, all that kind of stuff. So in the off season, we had a lot of opportunity to work to get better, and that's what I kind of tell my kids. When we're in season right now, then we have off season, and then back in season. That off season is a really good time to kind of gauge where you're at and to get better. And I had a lot to learn when I got here, and had some really great experiences. Struggled at times, but it makes you stronger. And Coach was incredibly competitive, and that rubbed very strongly off on me.
So you're seeing now, is your older brother that was here, he was gone by that? You weren't ever teammates?
No, we were teammates.
Okay, you did.
Yeah,
so you overlapped.
We did overlap. He ended up, he was a great player. So he was able to share some of the experiences that he had coming in, and really helped me and was someone to lean on. But we had a lot of kids from Massachusetts on the team. Michael Haberl, that were great to me. Brian Stewart was a senior. Jeff Sisk was a senior. And one of the greatest players, him and Brandon, the two greatest players in the history of Temple golf. And, I was able to really learn a lot. And I was thrown right into the lineup and was fortunate enough to compete. And then Tommy Carter, who was my teammate, ended up playing on the PGA Tour and was one heck of a player. And we were a pretty good golf team. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and so you have this, great college experience, and obviously you're seeing your brothers that would now. By the time you're done, is he already on the PGA Tour? Is he still working his way through?
It's a great question. So my senior year, I caddied for my brother at tour school at Greenleaf, and he got his PGA Tour card.
That had to be pretty.
And he played at Northwestern. My brother Fran. So my brother Kevin, who played here. He ended up going to Wall Street and doing much smarter stuff than me and my brother Fran, and became incredibly successful. So we were, but Fran, I caddied for him my senior year here in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Went down, and he got his PGA Tour card and, played for a long, long time at a very high level. So it was pretty cool.
I mean, on one hand, what an experience to see that up close, right? To be a part of that. I mean, I think there's no greater moment probably other than if you win a tournament or a major than getting that card, right?
Yeah.
That is the holy grail for anyone that has grinded and tried to make a living out of doing that. Had to be really special just to be a part of that.
Yeah, and he's 3 years older than me, so he had been at it for a couple years at that time, and to see everything come to fruition was just like an amazing. I mean, it was awesome. I can remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was clutch, and this game is really tough, and you're out there playing, you're by yourself or with your caddy. You have a lot of great tournaments, a lot of great things, but when things aren't so great, that's when you got to be able to pick yourself up off the mat and grind and really challenge yourself to be mentally stronger, because most players that play this game for a living, and I did it for 17 years, you're going to play really, really good for about 6 to 8 weeks a year. You just better hope you're playing in tournaments at that time.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, you're always a hair off. Now, someone like a Tiger or Phil Mickelson, guys like that, those elite players, a Rory McIlroy or a Scotty Scheffler, those guys play unbelievable every week, but they're at a level that's so much higher than the rest of the players. So that's really the biggest challenge, and which I talk to my kids on my team about all the time. You're not always going to be hitting it as good as you possibly can, but figure out how to be able to shoot a score. And that's the definition of a really good golfer, being able to shoot a good score when you're not playing your best.
Well, and that's what I really wanted to get to with your professional career. First of all, to play for 17 years as a pro is a tremendous accomplishment, and it's the 0.1% of the 0.1% of the 0.1 just to make it to that level. But also there is such failure inherent in the sport, right? I mean, even those guys that you're talking about, Tiger Woods at his peak is still winning. I mean, winning 1 out of 4 tournaments you enter is ridiculous, but it's still, it's like a baseball player. You are going to get out 7 times out of 10 and make the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's
exactly.
that you got to beat 140 other guys every single week. And so I imagine mentally, and like you said, we think of, most casual golf fans are going to watch the majors 4 weeks out of the year. You're not thinking about the mini tours and the guys that are grinding it out overseas. I imagine that took some mental fortitude just to keep that career going for as long as it. Obviously, success along the way, but just to keep grinding and keep that career going is an accomplishment in of itself.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a grind, and a lot of my golf was overseas, and that's where the money was back then, and so I played a ton in Asia, South Africa, all over the world, really, and you know, it is a grind. And you know, the thing that was awesome, I was at a young age and I was able to see the world.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot about yourself, because a lot of times you're by yourself. My wife would be with me for periods of time. One time I was in Asia for 14 weeks, which is incredible period of time.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the grind is. And it's the downtime. When you're in China and there's no language,
Right.
and when you leave the hotel, you have to grab a book of matches so you can give it to the cab driver on the way back, because that's the only way you can communicate. So you learn how to function and how to do it and deal with all different kinds of foods and all different, you know, when you're in Calcutta, India for, you know, I was there a bunch of times and you're eating peanut butter and bread because, you know, you really can't, you got to be really careful.
Yeah, this isn't a vacation.
This is not. And you have 156 guys in the field and probably about 50 to 60 of them get food poisoning.
Yeah.
And so it's always a great tournament to play in because you only got to beat 100 guys
That's right.
instead of
Yeah.
155 other guys. But you know, so you learn all that stuff. And I always tell my kids, you know, on my team, experience is the best teacher. And, you know, just try to learn from your experience, whether it's on the golf course, in the classroom, or in life. We're always not going to make the perfect decision, but learn from it.
Well, and it sounds like you can hear the through line here through all of these experiences. You're kind of gathering this wisdom, and was coaching always in the back of your mind, or at least teaching in some way? Because I guess the BQ Golf Academy comes before coaching at Temple, or
it's funny how this all happened. So I got injured, and you know, at the time we didn't realize how serious it was, and you know, then we got the news that, you know, because it impacts my left leg, and they said that you know, it's going to be a challenge, just walking 72 holes, different lies, different things like that. So obviously, it, you know, it just wasn't going to work out anymore, and it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And here's why. First of all, I got to watch my kids grow up, and you know, I had kids at that age. They were roughly 4 and 3, 5 and 4, right around there, and I got to be home. So. Because normally I would be on the road anywhere from 40 to 45 weeks a year. So that was a challenge. So that was a gift in itself. I then got a phone call from a guy where my golf academy is in Conshohocken. He's like, listen, we've had 6 different academies here. I heard you're injured. Is there any way you would come in and kind of help do this or whatever? I think it could really work. We just haven't had, you know, solid people in there or whatever. And I said, no. Kept calling me. I said, okay, I'll do it for 1 year. Well, we're in our 21st
here we are.
There,
Yeah.
Right. So that was incredible. And it's been a blessing for my family and really good, obviously for me, because it keeps me in the game. And I love what I do. I'm very blessed. I thoroughly enjoy, whether it's a tour player or a 25 handicap, watching people get better. And hopefully a little bit of the knowledge that I have helps them a little along the way. So that's a gift. And then getting to Temple, my coach, John McDonald, called me and he goes, you know, PQ, the team's in a state of disarray. He had coached for 30 years and did an incredible job. And then it kind of fell by the wayside for a period of time. And he just kept calling me. And I said, no, I'm good. I said, Coach, for you, I'll do it for 1 year. And I've been here a long time. And, you know, and it was crazy. My first year, the kids got, and you got to remember now, I played for Coach. We had everything, all this gear, all this stuff. When I took over, we got one shirt, an Adidas shirt. That was it.
Wow.
And nothing else. No balls, no gloves, nothing. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? So I took all the kids to the Polo outlet, and I bought them all pants and shirts and all this, and I got Temple logoed on it. And quite honestly, that's how we started. And then I called some of my friends in the golf business, like Titleist, and at that time, and they hooked us all up, and it all, from there progressed. But yeah, it was very eye-opening because I was so used to, we had this great van back in the day. We had great clothes, all the balls you could need, everything, and all because of Coach. And it had just fallen by the wayside. So it's been really cool to be able to be with my kids as long as I have. And it's amazing. I'm so close to so many of them from my whole time at Temple, and stay in great touch with so many of them. And, it seems like I'm going to weddings all the time and all different things like that. But, it's been just being with those kids. It's been great for me because it keeps me young, keeps me in the loop, and being able to hang out with them and watch them get better is a privilege.
Well, I think there is a special obviously coach player is a special relationship in any sport, but I do think that golf is unique. And I'm wondering, being such a fan of, take basketball as an example, because basketball. I not that to say that a basketball coach doesn't have that level of closeness, and obviously look no further than John Chaney and the impact he's had on so many lives. But golf, because of how it's a 90 whatever % mental sport, because I imagine so much of what you're doing is the mental and emotional side. Obviously there's a technical aspect to golf as well, but is that why you think that there's such a level of closeness between you and your players? And obviously look at you and Coach McDonald, just because of the nature of golf and how mental it is? Yeah,
I think what I try to tell my kids, and everything you said is right on the money, but what I try to tell my kids all the time is the advantage you have, first of all, for all our kids at Temple Athletics, is you have structure. Our kids have a workout 6:30 to 7:30. They go eat breakfast. They go to class from 8:20 to 12:20. They're at the golf course or my academy practicing at 1:15. They come back, go to study hall, and then have dinner and do it again the next day. So the structure is so important. So for us as coaches, in my opinion, we're already ahead of the game being able to coach these kids because they want to get better. And so going to the mental side and talking to them, golf is like a game of chess. It's where do I want to, point A to point B, where's my miss going to be, because no one hits a shot perfect every time. So what we do is really go over a lot of the strategy of a golf course in our practice rounds. And then, really, I take a lot in. I'm not one of those golf coaches that's out there, and we've seen it, me and Coach Teasdale all the time, really too much in their kids' heads.
Yeah.
I always tell our kids, we practice perfect, we play comfortable. And I just take it in. And then after the round, I'll say, hey, what were you thinking here? Because going back to experience is the best teacher. Unless it's conference championship or something, I will let kids fail. I will let them make a mistake because it's going to be an incredible teaching moment for them that's going to help us down the road. So, we want the kids to learn. If I go out and tell a kid, hit it here, do this every single shot, if I'm not there, what's he doing?
Right.
So we want to establish independence and get these kids to a level mentally where they can really compete. And we have some really nice players this year. We brought in a few really good players, and I'm really excited to see how they're going to do. It's going to probably take us a minute, but I think we have some serious talent.
Well, where does the 1912 club come into this? Is this another one-year thing that you got now? Because growing up here in King of Prussia, I remember the Plymouth Country Club, and obviously, what it is now it's just been a total transformation. So tell me about how you get involved in this project.
So that's that course had been struggling for a period of time, and I always kind of had my eye on it. Very close to my academy. It's about a mile and a half away. And I knew it was struggling. And when they really were struggling, they actually reached out to me and they said, hey, would you have any interest in purchasing the club? And I said, absolutely. So me and my very dear friend, put all our stuff together, and we ended up buying the club in 2018. And now that was the first half of it. The second half was in March of 2018, the work started right away. And we've invested millions of dollars in there and really turned that place around, from the clubhouse to the golf course. And I'm so blessed because I have such an amazing staff of people that do all the work, and has really made my life very easy. That's been really fun, and it's been a great asset to our program.
Right.
And they now have a place to play and practice. By the way, so doesn't Drexel. So doesn't St. Joe's. So doesn't Penn. Every team practices there in the Big Five, in the City Six, really, except Villanova. They have a place, but golf's gotten so big and booming so much. None of the courses have the availability to give up, tee times or what have you for these kids. So, the more the merrier. We're all about promoting the game and wanting kids to play golf and play at a high level. So that's been pretty cool. And my kids, my Temple boys, they're all really tight with all those other kids. So it's actually worked out really nicely.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think a couple things. First of all, if you're counting along at home, you're up to 3 full-time jobs because you're managing college coaching, an academy, and now managing a golf course. These are all on their own very time-consuming pursuits. But, the asset of having a home and a place, and again, it's a tremendous having the privilege to have played a few outings there. I mean, it's a tremendous track. There's so much that when you talk about the decision making that goes into playing golf, that course does, not to mention just the amenities it has and the practice facilities it provides. I imagine that just has to be transformational for this program to have that ability, which you can't simulate your way out of. There's not enough TrackMans in the world to substitute the experience of going out there on a legitimate course and testing yourself.
100%. And, it's funny you said about the range. When we purchased the club, there was no driving range.
Yeah.
When we purchased their club, there was no short game area. Well, we did that and built that for our members, of course, but also for Temple. And if you go to the 1912 club, you'll see our American flag, 1912 club flag, and the Temple flag. So it is the home of Temple. And we do a lot of events, as you know, outside of just the golf for Temple. And, I think it's a great partnership. And, anything we can do for Temple, Temple's been so good to me, and I owe Temple everything, And my wife went to Temple. My son graduated from Temple, has his MBA from here. So Temple's been the greatest blessing for us.
Well, that segues perfectly. We've got the Temple Invitational coming up as folks are listening to this. It's Monday and Tuesday, September 22nd and 23rd. So the chance, first of all, just to showcase this great home, this great facility, the chance to have your guys play a home event, which is nothing to overlook. I think that people take for granted your sport has more travel than probably any other. It's not like a football schedule or a basketball schedule. You're going to play half your events at home, especially given our location. You're going to be going around the southern United States for most of your competitive golf season. So I imagine first, just a pleasure to get to host an invitational, college invitational at home, but also for your guys to get the chance to have that kind of home course and home crowd support.
Yeah, it's awesome. My kids look forward to it every year. Our staff really goes above and beyond for the kids, for all the kids in the event. And yeah, just to be able to, it's so nice because a lot of our kids aren't from Philly.
Right.
And their parents come in and we get a ton of people come out to watch, which is really nice. From all the different teams that are going to be participating. But yeah, it's really nice. This year is the first time we haven't played a tournament. This is our first tournament of the year. So I'm excited to see how we're going to do. I think we're starting to trend in a good spot right now. So I'm, really excited to see, especially the young kids, how they play. Nico Pazerski is a freshman from Florida. He's right in the lineup. Aiden Emmerich, who obviously is our best player. And he had an incredible summer, so really excited to see how he's doing. He's a captain, and Jake Nazy's a captain as well. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how we do. And the greatest part is everyone on our team's playing. We have a cherry team, a white team, and then I have 3 individuals playing too. So every kid's going to have the opportunity to get out there and play, have their parents there, watch them compete. And, we're really looking forward to it, and it'll be exciting.
Well, I encourage everyone to come on out Monday and Tuesday to the 1912 Club. It's in Plymouth Meeting, easily accessible. You can get to it, from all the major highways. It's going to be a great – and even if you're not a golf fan, it's a beautiful walk outside. The course is gorgeous, and you get a chance, if you are a golf fan, I think there is nothing – you can't get this kind of access at a PGA Tour tournament. You can walk alongside the guys and just to see up close the way that they hit the ball, the way that they play. I mean, it is just, again, if you're a golf nerd, I think there's nothing like a college tournament where you can for all intents and purposes, be inside the ropes and get to see that up close and personal is really a neat thing.
Yeah, the talent level is incredible.
It is.
And the power is unbelievable. So it's pretty amazing to watch, how far these kids hit the ball, and like you said, it's a beautiful walk, and you get out there and the weather's going to be perfect. So we'd love to have anyone out there, whether you're supporting Temple or not, get out there and just enjoy the day.
Coach, last question for you, since you touched on it earlier. Anyone that has been to a Temple basketball game, we can see you courtside, the passion that you have, and I know that extends to everything about Temple athletics, about Temple University. And, I think you're in a really unique position because you've seen so many of the ups and downs, even, in the scope of what we've talked about here, going from what you had as a player to looking at, a team that was getting one polo shirt and now what you have now. And I know sometimes we get wrapped around the axle in college athletics with everything that athletes have and NIL and revenue sharing and all of these things, but you've been in this world for so long and you've maintained your passion for it and the love for Temple. Just what's allowed you to keep that through all of the stuff going on in the world? I feel like that's been something that has kind of been a North Star, is your passion and your love for this place. Yeah,
I mean, I think every coach and probably athletic director will tell you NIL is a huge challenge. And I'm obviously probably not the greatest fan of the way everything is done with that. I do think it's great that the kids are able to profit in some way, shape, or form. I just wish it was possibly a little different how they do it. But going to Temple basketball, going to that game, first of all, is a great family experience for us, my family. They all love it to death. Obviously I was I knew Coach Chaney really well. Great guy. And then Coach Dunphy's one of my best buddies. Aaron McKee's one of my best buddies. And Coach Fish has turned into a great friend and someone I really think is a tremendous coach. And watching young kids play the game, like you were saying about golf, watching them play at such a high level and the way they compete is so awesome. What I would love is to see our stadium have more and more people in there, starting with our students, and then obviously people of my age, of your age, getting out there and supporting Coach Fish and their program because they are doing a heck of a job, and I'm really excited for the season.
All right, well, I always appreciate getting to catch up, and again, there's something to a Temple lifer, and even though, that's why I started the conversation by asking if I had forgotten. I think I knew at some point that you were originally from Massachusetts, but you just feel like spiritually you belong here.
I'm Philly through and through.
You are.
I'm going to say this last thing. You could give me everything in the world to move back to Boston and back there, and I wouldn't take it. This is my home. I love the people. I love the passion. I love this school, and I think it's the most wonderful place to bring a family up.
From Westchester to Doylestown, from Drexel Hill to Lansdale to Philly, we all look out for each other, stepping up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you. Learn more at IBX.com.
All right, that's this week's episode of the Alpod. I want to thank my guest, Brian Quinn. A reminder that David Litvin and Amelia Wright are back to co-host our Tuesday show. They'll have an all-new student-athlete guest as well, so make sure you check that out. Like, subscribe, give us a rating. Make sure to tell your friends. You can now listen to us twice a week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you get your podcasts. Special thanks to our team, Christy Bannon, Justin Miller, Prince Moody, our executive producer, Dan Lobaz. I'm Kevin Kopp. Thank you all so much for listening, everyone, and go Owls.